Okay, today we're going to configure OSPF, and we see here we have a topology. Let's count our networks. We have LAN 1, LAN 2 in pink, and LAN 3. So 1, 2, 3. In the center, we have our multi-access broadcast area. So first thing we want to do is get into the router. And let's see, show run to verify IPs. So if you look at excuse me, gigabit 00, you have IP address with 255.255.1920, gigabit 0, 255.255.240. So this router needs two network statements. So we would go and verify each one of those, but if you hold your mouse over, you can see the subnet mask, an 18, a 20, and then on Ayer, you're going to have an 18 and a 21. So what we're going to do is open up the notepad. And we're going to configure our wildcard mask. So what I did is the first one for us. So it's an 18. So 8 ones, 8 ones is 16, 17, 18. Then you just reverse it, and then it ends up being the increment of 64 and 1 less than 64 is 63. And you add 128 and 64 for the subnet mask. Let's copy this, and I'm going to put it underneath. Now we're going by 1 bit, so we're just going to add one more. So we add one more to here, which makes it 224. Change that to a 1, and then if you add those up, 224. And then 1 less than the increment is 31. Copy this. Paste. Now 20. Once again, I don't want to get lost. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So change this to a 1. That becomes 240. Make sure I got 4 1s and 4 zeros. And if we go up here and flip this to the 1, that becomes 240. 1 less than the increment is 15. One last wildcard compute. We're at 21. So we need that. That would be 20. So we need one more. So 1 0. Increment of 7. And if we do the chart at the top, 248. All right. So once I have these, now all I have to do is write my network statements. So open up the notepad. So we're going to do show run, show IP route. So the first network we're going to do is for Polsky, and it's going to be the 10 network. So if we look at the 10 network, all we have to do is copy my wildcard, the wildcard 0.0.63.255. Area 0 will be for everything. All right, so what we're going to do is try this one step at a time so we can get the routers to get a convergence or get the OSPF database converged. Config T. Let's paste. Now I'm going to go ahead and put simulation mode so we can see what happens when we hit enter. So right off the bat, we have an OSPF, and it's an hello packet. So we'll just let that play. Okay. So nothing's going to converge because we haven't done any other routers. So let's copy this network statement and add it to both routers. So what we're going to do now is just take this and activate OSPF on each router and wait for our adjacency to form. And then we can move on to the next router. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and put simulation on, press enter, let this play out. I'll go back to real time and back to simulation real quick. All right, if you get that, we can edit filters, go to miscellaneous and STP. So then you can see your OSPF just by itself. All right, so let's go back. So we just did Zook. There's what we were waiting for. So our adjacencies formed, our three tables, routing, adjacency, no, routing, yeah, neighbor table and your topology table. All right, so let's go ahead and get Ayer activated and get it working in the OSPF routing protocol. All right, paste. Once again, I'll go into simulation and then it starts activating. And we're looking for a different color change here, but we don't quite see it yet. We'll see it possibly next. Oh, right there. So it's a darker blue. Let's see what this is. So this is an acknowledgement. So if we watch this through simulation longer, we'll get to see that's a layer 2, so you don't see anything for layer 3. All right. So now that they're all formed adjacency, we can add each LAN. So let's go back up to Polsky. And Polsky has a network of 1111. So we need to add that into the network statement. So if we look at Polsky, we need a network 11.11.0.0. I'm sorry, 11.0. No, 00 because it's a network. And the wildcard for 11 is 31. So 0.0.31.255 area 0. So once we add this network, OSPF should recalculate shortest path and these other routers should get the information. All right, simulation mode. So we'll make sure we're in Polsky and we're going to do the 11 network. So once again, we see a blue, which is hello. And then you see the darker blue, which is link state update. So we've seen three different LSAs so far, and you can let that play out. So what we want to do now is see if that network is shared through the other router. So I don't want to leave config. So do show IP routes. There it is. There's your 11. 110 is your administrative distance, and 2 is your cost via your local IP address. All right, so let's go to Zook and add the next network. So let's see, Zook has 12, so I don't mess that up. And here, so Zook needs network 12.12.12. I'm sorry, 0.0. And then our wildcard is 15. 0.0.15.255 area 0. Let's verify that. So we're doing network 12 is 15. Okay, so let's add that to Zook. Once we do that, it'll start to share. So once again, simulation, We hit paste. And then once again, we see two different link states already. First one should be the hello, and then the next one should be the update. And we also see an acknowledgement earlier. So let that play out. Notice the two different colors. So let's go back. Let's go back to Polsky. Let's see, do show IP route. All right, so we see 12. So we'll go to error. Do show IP route. So this one sees all of them, 11 and 12. So we're one router's missing a route, and I believe that's error. All right, so we need to do that network, and that network is a 13 with a 21. So 13, so it's going to be a wildcard of 7. So let's go back to the network statements. Do network 13.13.13 0.0. Make sure that's a typo right here. I got to fix this. This should be a 0. If you do 13, it jumps past the 8, so it goes out of the network. I caught that my first time through. And then our wildcard of 0.0.7.255 area 0. All right. Well, if this works, perfect. So paste, simulation, enter, and we let it play. So there's your ospf running. Let's see if it was shared across the network. So it did not share yet. Let's see if Zook, so we may have done something wrong. Do show IP routes. Okay, so we're seeing 11 and 12, but not 13. So what I'm going to do is reverse what I just did. Now, I need to see the IP address, show run. Okay, so we have to do change of IP. So let's do that very quickly. I could change the wildcard mask, but I'd rather just do this. So now if I do the correct interface, so we need to add router ospf, do network 13.13.0.0 and 0.0.7.255 area 0. Notice when I put the wrong network in, ospf did not send any updates, so I think it's good now. So we'll let it travel through, and there it is. So it just popped up. And go over here and verify we see all the networks. So if we remember routing, we look at our total amount of networks. In this example, we have 3 LANs in a shared network, so 4. So each router should have a combination of connected and learned routes from the routing protocol. So there's 4 in Polsky, there's 4 in Zook, and then there's also 4 in do show IP routes. There's 4 there. Okay. So I'm going to post after this some ways to break it. So once you configure it, we want to break it maybe 2 different ways and then just save that as, troubleshoot. This concludes the video.